Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. So, today we are going to discuss a very important tragedy written by Shakespeare, and this is a tragedy called as Macbeth. So, Macbeth is a play written by William Shakespeare. It was written in the year 1606. It is tragedy. So the genre is tragedy, and the historical source, so from where Shakespeare took the story, it is Raphael Holinshed's Chronicles of England, Scotland, and Ireland. This work came out in 1587 and became the source from where Shakespeare is going to take the story. This is a very important tragedy that was written when we see James the First coming on the throne. So, who was coming on the throne? James the First will come on the throne. It is 1603 when the Jacobean era started, and Shakespeare knew that it was witchcraft that fascinated James the One a lot. So he will use the motive of witchcraft in the entire play. You'll see it is Lady Macbeth as well as the witches who are going to instill the fear, or you can say they are the one who are going to persuade Macbeth to do wrong deeds. They are the one who are going to persuade Macbeth to do the wrong deeds. One thing that is also very very important, you see mustaches that are there in the faces of the three witches that are there, as well as Lady Macbeth will also show characteristics of a male. So what Shakespeare is trying to say, right? Think about it. The actual Macbeth ruled Scotland from 1040 until 1057. He was killed, right? So, firstly, he killed Duncan, and then it is Malcolm the Third, who killed him. However, the king took the battlefield of the Scottish reign after Macbeth was killed. Macbeth was hence defeated by Malcolm the Third, who was the stepson of King Duncan, who Macbeth had killed. The play basically depicts a regicide. The play depicts what? Regicide. What is regicide? Killing one's own king. Therefore, this play was banned. Okay. So, this play talks about killing of one's own king, hence, it was banned. It was banned after the execution of King James the First son, that is Charles the One. Okay, when was it banned? When Charles the One was also killed. After that, because Charles the One actually dissolved the parliament many times, he was not a good ruler, he was an absolutist. After James the One, he came on the throne. As he was killed, this play was banned. This was around 1649. Its treatment of witchcraft is another very controversial thing that happened. Also, it was said that taking the name Macbeth was something that was associated with bad luck. When the performances of Macbeth used to take place, the equipments used to fell from the stage. Once, an actor, while he was performing, who was supposed to use a fake knife, a fake dagger, was killed because it was a real dagger. One of the most popular instances that happened was 1849 riot that happened in New York, in Astor's place, when a fan actually started a fight, and there was a riot and a lot of people were killed during this time. So a lot of popular instances were there. Anyway, let us start discussing Macbeth, and let us see the major characters here. Macbeth is the protagonist. He was the Thane. Thane is like a ruler. Thane of Glamis. Thane of Glamis. He was an army general of Duncan. King Duncan is the king, and Thane of Glamis is Macbeth. Okay. He was also given the title called as Thane of Cawdor, and we'll discuss it. He is going to take the throne of Scotland by killing Duncan. That is, because of his treachery, because of his deeds, he will ultimately fall. Another very important thing I've just forgot to tell you, this play will also bring catharsis. What is catharsis? The built up emotions, as well as talks about hubris. What is hubris? The tragic flaw in a person. And what is Macbeth's tragic flaw? It is his excess emotions, or his ambition that he wanted to become the king of England. Anyway, coming back here, it is Macbeth who was the Thane of Glamis, and later he will get the title of the Thane of Cawdor, wanted to become king, so he is going to kill Duncan. Lady Macbeth is another very influential character. Lady Macbeth encourages Macbeth to kill Duncan, and ultimately she will drive, this guilt of killing someone will drive her mad, and she will die at the end. We have witches. The three witches are known as the Weird Sister. They are collectively going to make many predictions, and they will drive Macbeth mad. Duncan is the king of Scotland, and Macbeth is going to kill him and to get the throne back. We have his eldest son Malcolm, and his youngest son Donalbain. Banquo was another army general. He was another army general and a bosom friend, a very close friend of Macbeth. Macduff was an honorable man, as well as the three witches that are there. So these are the characters. Let us start our work and the discussion of the play, and you'll understand the things gradually. So the play opens with three witches gathering amidst thunder and lightning. When the play opens, we have lightning, and these three witches are going to gather there. They plan to meet Macbeth. So it is them who decide to meet Macbeth. Macbeth was devil's marked. Okay? He is going to be doomed. When the battles lost and won at the set of sun, we are going to meet Macbeth. This is what they said. At King Duncan's camp, something very interesting would happen. So when the play opens, these are the things that are going to happen. So King Duncan is there in his camp. King Duncan is going to praise the wounded person called as Macbeth, who fought extremely well against the rebel forces that were led by the person called as MacDonald. So MacDonald, they were fighting against MacDonald, and then here during the fight, it is Macbeth who performed really well. Okay. The real forces of MacDonald was defeated. He also reports that there was a assault that happened from the Norwegian troops after they had defeated MacDonald, but it was Banquo as well as Macbeth who doubly are going to stroke the foe that was there. So not only MacDonald but the Norwegian army also decided to kill Duncan, but it was Macbeth as well as Banquo who defeated them. So Duncan was extremely happy. Duncan thanked the captain for the words that he has told about Macbeth. He is already going to praise Macbeth, but now he loved Macbeth. The Norwegian king, who was once a good person, he was the Thane of Cawdor, but after discovering that he was a traitor, the title of the Thane of Cawdor will go to whom? To Macbeth. To Macbeth. Right? So while this was happening in the camp, we see Macbeth as well as Banquo meeting these three sisters called as the trio of the Weird Sisters. They will do three prophecies. Macbeth will earn the noble titles, Banquo will produce a line of kings, and Macbeth will become the king of Scotland. So if you notice, the first the first prediction got fulfilled, because the Thane of Cawdor, who was till now a good person, now ultimately became a bad person, and this title is given to Macbeth. So the prophecy or the prediction got fulfilled. Banquo will produce a line of kings, and Macbeth will become the king of Scotland. This is the only thing that Macbeth could think after he, got to know that he is the Thane of Cawdor as well. He understood that maybe the witches were right. Initially, he was very suspicious, but then he understood that no, they were correct. King Duncan asked the guards to execute the Thane of Cawdor, and the title went to Macbeth. Lady Macbeth receives a letter. So now Macbeth was so infuriated, or you can say he was baffled to look at the news that this is something that happened, that now he is the king of Cawdor as well, and the three witches have already predicted two other things as well. He wanted to become the king of Scotland. So he will write a letter, and he will post, and he will send it, not post, to Lady Macbeth. So he wrote a letter to Lady Macbeth telling her his encounter with the witches. She fears about her husband, and she says that too full of the milk of human kindness Macbeth is. So she knew that Macbeth was a very kind soul, and now he is tainted. So she is horrified. She is very scared for her husband. She is interrupted by the news that the king is coming to the castle that evening, and Macbeth is already on his way. So Lady Macbeth was reading the letter when she came to know that Macbeth as well as Duncan are going to come to their castle and going to stay there. She calls to the spirit. Now this is an interesting thing. She calls to the spirit to unsex her and make her capable of murder. She knew that Macbeth was a kind soul, a person who is very kind, who is not at all very schemingful, right? So he is full of milk of human kindness, and Macbeth would not be able to kill Duncan, and she now praised that the forces, the god, should unsex her, and she can do such a deed. She will kill Duncan. She celebrates the fatal entrance of Duncan into her home, and she calls the spirit to unsex her, and so that she becomes capable of murder. Macbeth arrives home, and Lady Macbeth immediately tells a plan to Macbeth. So the plan was of Lady Macbeth, right? Like a serpent, she is going to create this atmosphere and ask Macbeth to kill Duncan. So Macbeth said to his wife what the witches have prophesied, and one day when Duncan decides to meet Macbeth in the castle, they decided that they will kill Duncan during that day. King Duncan asks about the execution of Cawdor, and then he is going to praise Macbeth, and ultimately go inside and stay in his room. Macbeth, Banquo. So we have Macbeth, we have Banquo, along with Ross and Angus. They are going to join Duncan's party. So they joined Duncan's party. Duncan thanked them all for taking the part in the battle and announces that his eldest son, so it is Duncan who is going to announce that his eldest son Malcolm will inherit the throne after he dies. Duncan then says that he will visit Macbeth's castle as they travel from a very long journey, and they will celebrate it there in the castle. Macbeth decides to go ahead and tell this to his wife, and he also remarks that it is Malcolm now who is coming in between he and his throne. Lady Macbeth, as I told you, will now ask her husband to kill Duncan outside the banquet hall. So when Duncan was here sleeping, we see Macbeth, who is facing a lot of troubles. So Lady Macbeth asked Macbeth to kill Duncan, and Macbeth agreed. But now, when it is the time to kill Duncan, Macbeth started to had a lot of thoughts, vaulting thoughts. He pushed them away and he decides not to kill Duncan. Lady Macbeth, listening to what Macbeth is saying, got so furious that she started calling him as a coward, a beast, and someone who can not be a good father. She said that if my child would have done this, would have promised me once and then took it back, I would have dashed the brains. Dashed the brains. So they said, so Lady Macbeth is going to instigate Macbeth, and ultimately Macbeth will go to kill the king. Okay, Lady Macbeth will also tell Macbeth the complete plan, that once they have killed the king, there, so suppose this is the chamber, there will be guards waiting here. So Lady Macbeth said, just kill Duncan, come out and put the dagger that has blood over it in the hands of the servants. Till then I will spike the you can say drinks of the servants, and I will ultimately get them drunk. So no one will notice that they have the dagger in their hand, and everyone will think that Duncan was killed by the guards. Macbeth agreed. He went there. As he was going to kill Duncan, so he was just going there to kill Duncan, he started to hallucinate. He saw a dagger. He saw what? He saw a dagger, and he got so scared. But as he has promised Lady Macbeth, and Lady Macbeth initially called him a beast and a coward, he decided to kill Duncan. He was on his way to kill Duncan when you will listen that there was a knock at the door, and Banquo as well as his son Flens will come near the castle. So during this time at the hour when they will find Macbeth awake, they will be very suspicious. Banquo and Fleece would be very suspicious. Okay, Banquo told Macbeth that Duncan before sleeping had decided to give a ring, to Macbeth, and Banquo gave him that ring and also said that I have been thinking about the prophecies. But Macbeth would say that I am not even thinking about it, just go to sleep, I have some work. And Banquo and Fleece would also sleep. Macbeth would again go, though he was very scared, and ultimately kill Duncan. But what will happen? He was so scared that he will run to his room and he will totally forgot that he has a dagger in his hand. He has a dagger in his hand when he comes to meet Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth will shout at him and say that what a bloody business he has done. So Duncan is killed till now, but Macbeth has done what? He has carried the dagger inside the room. Lady Macbeth said that what have you done? And Macbeth will explain to her that I was hearing bells. So they are all motives. बहुत ज़्यादा डार्क क्वालिटी दिखाएगा इस वर्क के अंदर. He said that I was hearing a lot of bells and I was going crazy, so I got the dagger here. Lady Macbeth will say that please keep the dagger, but Macbeth will be so scared that Lady Macbeth will decide that okay, I will keep the dagger, and I have already spiked the servants, I just have to keep the dagger there. Lady Macbeth will go on her own to keep the dagger there. Lady Macbeth dismisses his fear and ultimately also called him as a person who is brain sickly. So it is ironical that Lady Macbeth called him brain sickly, but ultimately it will be Lady Macbeth जो क्या हो जाएंगी, brain sickly होने वाली हैं. She urges him to return the dagger, but he was too scared, so she goes there. She reassures him that a little water will clear up all the deeds. They just wash their hands, the dagger is now placed, she is not ashamed of what she has done, and they go to bed and they sleep. At the night, there will be knocking at the gate. So there is a gate, and through this gate, there is someone else entering. So there will be continuous knocking during that time. It is the porter the porter who answered the door, and now came Macduff. कौन आता है? Macduff. Along with Macduff, there is Lennox who came. Right? They came to meet Duncan. Macduff remarks that the household must have gone to bed very late, that they are still sleeping at night, and they went to meet whom? They went to meet Macbeth. Macbeth will say that yes, I slept very late, you can go and meet Duncan. So both Macduff and Lennox in the morning will go and meet Duncan. Duncan is now dead. When they will see this murder, they will go furious. They will come back running to Macbeth and they will tell them that it is the guards who have killed Duncan. And listening to this, though they were also very suspicious, Lady Macbeth, to take the suspicion away from Macbeth, faints. So Lady Macbeth will actually not faint, but she will create an atmosphere that no one will blame Macbeth, and she faints. Okay. Ross talks about, so it is Ross who talks about what is happening, and they were all very suspicious of what is going on, but ultimately no one has any answer. Macduff arrives and tells Ross that he believes that the guard has only murdered the king, Duncan. Duncan was maybe killed by Malcolm or Donalbain because they wanted the kingdom soon, but no one knew. It was the servants who got the dagger, so they were the one who were blamed. Now we find Malcolm and Donalbain, who were the two sons of Duncan, who fled from that place. Okay, and ultimately it is Macbeth who became the king. So Lady Macbeth said to Macbeth that it is the night that they can do such a thing. They are ultimately going to kill Macbeth. Duncan's son Malcolm and Donalbain ran away to England and Ireland, and fearing that whoever killed Duncan desires to demise them as well. Macbeth became the king of Scotland as the kinsman of the dead king. After that, Macbeth reminded the witches that he reminded that the witches have also done third prophecy, that it will be Banquo who will produce a line of kings. Macbeth wanted to kill Banquo, and his son flees as well. Macbeth hires two men, to assassinate Banquo. The assassination is done, but Fleece will run away and Banquo is killed. Right? So they will kill Banquo, but Fleece run away. One day, Macbeth saw Banquo's ghost, and so he decided to visit the witches again. So it was during the banquet that he will go crazy again, and he decides that now I am going to visit the three witches again. The three witches will again give prophecy. The weird sister are again going to create prophecy. They will say that he should beware of Macduff. No one born of woman could kill him, and there is nothing to worry until the woods move towards him. Right? After that, Macbeth orders to kill Macduff as well. So witches again gave three prophecy. Macbeth was crazy. He was going crazy and he just wanted to get the throne. So he will give the order to kill Macduff. They couldn't find Macduff, so they killed the whole family of Macduff. Macduff was in England visiting whom? He was in England visiting Malcolm. Right? Malcolm got to know about all of these deeds. Macduff went to visit Malcolm. Malcolm took a small test of Macduff. He decides that yes, Macduff is still true to him, and he told that yes, he has a suspicion that it is Macbeth who has killed Duncan. Macduff got to know that his entire family, his small child and his wife were killed, and he became very furious. Malcolm agreed to return the throne, so they came to Scotland with what? With 10,000 soldiers. When English soldiers came to the Burnham Wood, they decided to cut down the woods. So do you remember the third prophecy? It was said that the bushes should walk towards Macbeth. So when they entered England, they decide to cut Burnham woods so that a camouflage effect could happen. They can carry the tree limbs to camouflage themselves and their number, and they decided to march. So suppose they were here, this is the army, they will just hold the Burnham woods here, and here we have, in this castle, we have Macbeth. So Macbeth understood that yes, one prophecy is complete. But he thought that the third prophecy, where is it? Yeah. So he knew that no one born of woman could kill him. So he was very sure that he will be saved. Macbeth sinks into deep pessimistic despair, and he delivers a brilliant speech here. So Macbeth is going to deliver a speech. Tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow is the name of the speech. By that time, he has been losing a lot of soldiers. He joined the English army himself. When Macduff came to Macbeth, there was a battle between them. So it was what? It was Macduff who came near Macbeth first. Okay. Macbeth said that no one who was born of a woman could kill him. And Macduff would say that he is not born from a mother's womb because he was untimely ribbed off. So he said that I am born because of an operation. I was untimely ribbed, hence I am not born of a woman. So I can kill you, right? C-section say I was born. This means that another prophecy of the witches got fulfilled here, isn't it? No one born of woman could kill him, and he should be beware of Macduff. So Macduff killed Macbeth. It is a PYQ. It is very important. Do not think that it is Malcolm. Malcolm will become the king after that, but it is Macbeth who got killed because of Macduff. Macbeth died from Macduff's hand, and Malcolm became the king. Although Malcolm and not Fleece was placed on the throne, the witch's prophecy concerning Banquo, that Banquo will produce the line of kings, was something that the audience still ponder, right? It was known to the audience that Shakespeare's time, Shakespeare left something for them to think about. And there is one more thing that is very interesting. It was actually James the 6th of Scotland, right? Later also called as James I of Scotland, who is known as the progenies of Banquo, right? So it was like an open-ended thing that Shakespeare did, right? So it is known to the audience that Shakespeare's time is known as something that is going to be true. So he said that it is Banquo's lineage who will come and take the throne. So it is James the One who will come on the throne after Elizabeth I, who is said a descendant from Banquo's family. Okay. So this is the play. I hope you guys understood the play here. Few very important the things that you have to remember is this soliloquy, tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. This is an important thing to remember. Then you should remember that it is Macduff who killed Macbeth. Malcolm became the king. And James the One is said to be a descendant of Banquo. So the entire 3 prophecies turned out to be true. Right? Then this scene of Lady Macbeth going crazy is also important. So here a small incident happened. While all of these things were happening, when you see Macbeth fighting, we'll also come to know that doctor will visit, and Lady Macbeth, it is Lady Macbeth who will go crazy. See, she will do what? Sleepwalking is a disease that she will get to she will have. She will not be able to sleep because she killed so many people. There are so many things that happened. She ultimately loses her senses, and we also see Lady Macbeth who died. So Lady Macbeth also die. Lady Macbeth goes crazy. Okay, the doctor also said that she is not sleeping. He had also given pills, but Lady Macbeth is hallucinating. She keeps on rubbing. So during that time, so Lady Macbeth kept on rubbing her hands. Why? Because she thought that there was blood on her hands. This is again an interesting fact that you should remember, right? I hope you guys understood the play. I have tried to cover almost all the intricate details that are there. If you still have any doubts, you can ask me that in the comment section. Thank you and have a wonderful day.